Our obsession as a society with love is absolutely crippling us and destroying our chances of actually being able to have sustainable, meaningful, powerful, impactful, actually loving long term relationships. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bianca. I'm a licensed mental health counselor specializing in cognitive behavioral therapy. And I've done well over 6,000 therapy sessions over the last 6 years. And this pattern that I have noticed about love and relationships and intimacy and connection is absolutely destroying us. I cannot tell you the amount of clients that will come to see me that will say something along the lines of, but I love them. Why won't they change? I love them. Why isn't it enough? I love them. Why won't they do this? Why won't they do that? Why won't they show up for me? And it's not just intimate relationships, it's any type of relationship. It's friendships, it's business partnerships, it's parent relationships, it's sibling relationships, it's friendships, it's every type of relationship. We are having these really dire consequences as a result of this narrative that in some way, shape, or form, love is going to be enough. If they love me, they'll change. If they love me, they'll do this. If they care about me, they'll do that. If they actually cared, they would, quit drinking or quit smoking or quit doing this or quit doing that. And the truth of the matter is, it's not true. We are banking on love to solve all of our problems because of these narratives that have been going on and on and on from movies, from TV, from unrealistic expectations that we see of other people, from the narratives that our own family members have told us, blood is thicker than water and all of that bullshit. We have these really destructive ideas about what love is supposed to be, and that the feeling of love should be sufficient. The feeling of love should make us want to change and want us to do better, and it should be enough. And if you clicked on this video, it's because you're at a place in your life where you're realizing it's not enough. Love is not what makes people change. Love is not what gets people to do the things that we want them to do. If love were enough, nobody would be addicted to substances. If love were enough, nobody would ever engage in self-harming behaviors. If love were enough, people wouldn't take their own lives. If love were enough, no child would be physically abused or sexually abused. People wouldn't harm their partners. People wouldn't harm their pets. We wouldn't make the mistakes that we make. If love were enough, this world would be a drastically better place, but it's not. And the reason is we have this idea of love, that love is just that feeling. Love is that deep emotional bond, that deep emotional connection with another person. And we're banking on the fact that that feeling is going to make someone do a different behavior, that that feeling is going to change someone's values. That feeling is going to change somebody's character. That's a really big expectation to put on an emotion. Because that is how we see love. We see love as an emotion. Love is the feeling that you get inside of you, and it's that fluffy, fluttery feeling that you get when you're connected with someone, when you're bonded with someone, when you care about someone, when they're all you're thinking about, or they're always on your mind, or you're always, having thoughts about them. Love is wanting to spoil them and wanting to nurture them and wanting to do all of these things. That's not love. That's not love. That's a fantasy. And then we wonder why nobody actually can have a long term sustainable relationship, why people cut their parents off, why friendships end, why people can't work together. It's not real. We're banking on chemistry. We're in romantic relationships and romantic aspects, we're banking on chemistry. We're banking on attraction. We're banking on lust. Lust is sexy. Chemistry is sexy. Attraction and, the honeymoon phase and all of these things. They're beautiful and they're fun and they're intriguing and they're exciting. But we all know that it fizzles out eventually. And then what's left? That's why we struggle. That's why people can't maintain relationships to save their lives. It's because we have it all backwards. And what I want to help all of you understand is, what are you actually supposed to look for? What do we look for? How do we make love last? How do we make sure that we're not entering into intimate relationships or friendships or business partnerships or the relationships we have with our friends and family and our siblings and whoever else? How do we make it work? How do we actually show up for one another? How do we actually be there? It's not the emotion. The emotion is important. The emotion helps us feel good, but if you only ever do things when you feel good, you'll never get anything done. If you're consistently waiting on feelings to change your behavior, you're going to wait your entire life, because the grand majority of us can't regulate our feelings. We can't control our feelings. We can't manipulate our feelings to have a specific feeling that we want to then go achieve an outcome. If that were true, nobody would be overweight. Nobody would fall out of love. Nobody would be addicted to substances. Everybody would be ultra successful. Everybody would be millionaires and billionaires, and nobody would struggle. But it's not real. It's not the truth. Most of us are so heavily dictated by our feelings that we can't do anything. We're stuck. We're trapped. And believe me, I was there too. I'm not preaching on some high horse. I'm speaking as somebody who, her emotions guided everything. And then I became someone who learned how to control and create emotions that I wanted to achieve outcomes, love included. Love isn't any different than any other tangible external thing that you want, or even internal thing, but it's no different. Anyone who has a successful relationship of any kind, it's because they're following a pattern that you aren't yet. I say yet intentionally. They're doing something that you have not yet learned. They're doing something you have not yet done. And if you can sincerely understand what that is, you'll never fall out of love. You'll never not have the type of love that you want. You'll never struggle in that arena. Not that you'll never have fights, not that you'll never struggle in general, not that you won't have difficulties and challenges and circumstances come up, but love won't be this ultra destructive thing that it is for so many people. So, what is real love? What is real love? How do we actually create something meaningful that lasts? Number one, you have to stop banking on the emotion. So many of us enter into and leave love and relationships because of our feelings and because of our emotions. But we all know emotions don't last because emotions are based on our internal states. But you could eat something and your emotions could shift because of the physiological impact it has on your brain, the impact that has on your hormones, and then the way that that shifts you. How many of you have been so hungry that you could rip somebody's hair out of their head? Hangry is a term for a reason. So why do we think that an emotion like lust or attraction or love or excitement is going to last with another person when other people are so unpredictable it's not even funny? You're expecting this feeling to stay the way that it does in the beginning when it's new. There's a reason why people are addicted to drugs. It's because it triggers that dopamine system that's chasing new, that's chasing excitement. It's why we like our phones so much. It's why TikTok is so successful. It's why casinos are so successful because they figured out the way that those mechanisms interact with our brain and cause us to feel things and then cause us to act. So you're sitting there on a slot machine and you're going, ooh, when's the next thing gonna come? Just like dating apps. Swipe, 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 swipe until you finally find one person. And they mess with the algorithms intentionally so that you stay on there longer, so you don't find somebody. It's ridiculous. Our brain is, it loves new, it loves exciting. That's why it feels so good. It's not the attainment of it, it's the chase. The chase is so exciting. New is so exciting. So you're banking on that to be able to have a long-term sustainable relationship? Doesn't work because those feelings eventually fade because we stop doing the things that made those feelings happen in the first place. And that's where number two comes in. If you want real, sustainable love, long term, sustainable, impactful, meaningful, purposeful love, you have to be consistent. Tony Robbins had this quote. He said, if you do what you did in the beginning of the relationship at the end, there'll never be an end. And I agree with that so wholeheartedly, so deeply. How many of you have entered into a relationship and in the beginning, you'll do anything for that person. You light up when they text you or when they call you. You can't wait for the next date. You're smiling thinking about them all the time. Your heart and your stomach start fluttering and you kind of feel like you want to throw up, but it's a good thing because you know you're thinking about this person and you just can't wait to see them again. And then 6 months later, you're sick of them. And when they call you, you get annoyed. The things you loved in the beginning piss you off in the end. Why? Why? Why do we do that? Why does that happen? It's because we're not consistent. It's because we're not consistent. We don't do things in the beginning or we don't do things later on that we did in the beginning. Why? Because we're banking on the feeling again. It just goes back to the first one. I don't feel the same way I did in the beginning. Are you doing the same things you did in the beginning? Do you still value this person? Are you still trying to learn this person? Are you still exploring yourself? Are you still living your own life that's allowing you to grow and learn and evolve that will make this person interested in continuing to learn you and vice versa? No. People get into relationships and they stop trying. I can't tell you the amount of people that I know that have said, once I get into a relationship, I'm not going to the gym, I'm going to get fat and I'm going to get lazy. It's like, what? Why would they stay with you? Oh, but they should if they love me. Why? You stopped doing everything that made them fall in love with you. You gave up. Why should they? Why should they stay? That's not okay. You would never expect that. Let's say you went to school and a school allured you with all of these classes and all of these things that you were going to start to take. And then once you got there, they just dropped it, but you had to still keep paying for the classes, even though you're not taking them. And the teachers don't show up. You would be enraged. You would be so pissed. You'd sue the school and you'd try to get all your money back. But we don't think that way in love. They should love me for who I am, no matter what. Why? Why? If you're radically different than who you were in the beginning, not because you're growing and changing and getting better, but because you gave up, because you started to settle, why should they still love you? That's not right. And why should you still love them if they stop doing all of the things that they promised you that they would do? Why would you still love them? You wouldn't. But you're not supposed to say that. You can't say that. I'm probably going to get so much hate for saying that. But we all know it's true. It's why people cheat. It's why marriages and relationships end. It's why business partners start to fail and they split up. Because you stopped doing the things in the beginning that you stopped doing things that you were doing in the beginning. So why would it continue? You're banking on feelings. You are not consistently doing the things that you were doing and you likely have given up. Or they did. And you're not growing. That's the third one. And honestly, I think that's the most important one. Love isn't stagnant. People get into relationships and they give up. Any type of relationship, not just intimate, any type of relationship. But let's talk specifically about intimate. People stop trying. People stop growing as people. They become so enmeshed in the relationship. Everything becomes about the relationship, the relationship, the relationship. But where were you? I learned this from my business partner. There's three aspects of a relationship. There's you, there's the other person, and then there's the we. It's you and that person coming together. That's a relationship. So when you start giving up on you and they start giving up on them and all you're focusing on is this, what happens to the two people who contribute to that? You disappear. So then how are you supposed to have the loving feelings and how are you supposed to be consistent when you basically lost yourself? We give up on us because we're so emphatically clinging to the emotions that we give up on everything that mattered to us. We lose our identity. We lose our sense of self. And then the relationship fizzles out, and then we get excited by other people, and then the pattern continues over and over again. The cycle restarts. If you want a magnificent relationship, if you want real love, not the feeling, real love. Number one, you have to understand that emotions change because we are dynamic creatures. What you eat could change how you feel. You think another person isn't going to change? You think that the dynamic between you and that person, you're not going to alter each other's emotions when something like food or sleep or sunlight can change how you feel? You expect that another person isn't going to do that? That's unrealistic and somewhat delusional. But again, none of us know. None of us were taught this. I didn't learn this until recently. Number one, you have to have realistic expectations of emotions. And you have to do the work to navigate your emotions. You do. You have to. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn what emotions actually are and the impact that they have and what goes into maintaining and sustaining and prolonging those emotions. Which goes into number two, the consistency factor. You have to consistently show up for yourself. And this ties into the third one. They kind of all go hand in hand. You have to consistently show up for yourself and the other person. Show up for your goals. Show up for your dreams, for your hobbies, for your friends, for your habits. You have to consistently show up. Don't give up on you because you want love. Love isn't enough. There's so much more that goes into it than what I just said. But those are three of the primary fundamental things that cause people and their relationships to fail. I've seen it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times with different people. People give up, people bank on feelings, and people stop showing up for themselves. How the hell are you supposed to have love? That's like saying I'm going to eat once and then I'm never going to be hungry again. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Let me know how it goes. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Love takes just as much effort as anything else. And you have to have a sturdy foundation in order for love to last. Just like a house, you have to have a sturdy foundation. And that sturdy foundation is you having a grounded, stable sense of self and your partner having a sturdy, stable sense of self. And then you come together and then you navigate the emotions together and you show up consistently for each other together while having your own individual lives. I guarantee, if you do that, you will have the best love experience possible. If you focus on those three things, you will never struggle in this arena because you'll be willing to do the work it takes to navigate any of the problems that'll potentially and will definitely come up. Because just like anything, shit's gonna happen, challenges are gonna happen, problems are going to happen. But what do you do when they do? How do you navigate it? And that's where something like therapy can be so critical and so incredible because you can work on those things. You can work on those feelings. You can work on the consistency. You can work on consistently showing up for yourself and then being able to show up for the partner. And if that's something that you're struggling with, put a comment down below or reach out, message me. You can email me or send me a message on my social media and we can start working together. And I can help you just like I've helped hundreds of other people one-on-one and thousands of people through all of the different platforms that I'm on. But it is possible for you. Here's the question I'll leave you with. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to have real love and not bank on the emotion? Because I promise you, love is not enough.